when you are new to industry and you don't have a company provided support, you can always enroll for a 30-day free trial that Snowflake provides. You can sign up using the official site, and you will get a confirmation email. You can a link will be provided to you via the email. You need to access the link and you can directly sign in over there. Let's get started. So on the left side, you can see the session, the account that we are using, the role that we are using, and other documentation related details if required. And on the dashboards, you can set up the views over here or any visualization data with charts, bar graphs, whatever it is required on top of your data, so you can refresh it and see the actual performance of your data with your requirements. In databases, you can create your own set of databases, access them with multiple tables, views, and you can configure them as your. I will get more into it in a bit. This was a data marketplace that Harkirat was talking about, where you have access to enormous amount of data across the industries. You can actually download it directly into one of your databases, and you can access the data and play with it. And next is the activity, where you can see the history of the queries that you have run from a specific profile, user, any person that you can access from. Queued, block, run queries, successful queries, and everything. Apart from this, you can also search with a specific text that you ran the query from. You can use this SQL text select option, and you can say when was the last time that you used a copy function, and apply. You get all the queries that you have used the copy in the SQL text. As same goes for the warehouse that you have used, the duration for each query is for a specific period, and you can even tag your queries accordingly for that. This will be pretty useful when you want to look at the previous performance of your queries, or when was the last successfully query has run, and other such details. Or whenever a specific user has performed a query on a table that has affected the data over there. And in the home page, we have the worksheets. Here is where the whole thing goes down to. Let's create the content is here. Let's create a new worksheet where we can run our queries and everything. Here you can see all the databases that are available to us, the tables. Whenever you create a new database, by default you will be getting a public schema and an information schema. Information schema mostly gives you all the information that's present in that specific database. The columns that are present there, the file formats that have been there, the staging areas, that everything else. So let's start with a database. I would actually go with the data marketplace data to give you guys a better idea of what's happening. But to expand the scope, I would like to start with a staging data that's been staged in AWS. So what happens with Snowflake is, whenever you want to load a data or unload into a data, you need to load it from a certain place. These places are called stages. These stages can be internal stages or external stages. When we talk about external stages, these will be supported by either Azure, AWS, or Google Cloud. So you can upload the files over there, or you can make sure the files are over there, and you can access the data, make that Snowflake, the GCP, Azure, or the AWS location as external staging phase, and you can directly load the data from there. For that, we need to have a warehouse. A warehouse actually does all these things further. So let us configure a warehouse first, and we can get started from there. Warehouses. There are multiple ways you can set up a warehouse. You can use the UI service. You can configure the name of the warehouse that you want to use, Egen demo. Let's use an extra small warehouse for now. So let's do this and create a warehouse. and the warehouse will be ready for you to use it. At any point of time that you feel that this database, this warehouse does not have the enough capacity, you can always go back to the warehouse, select it, edit it, and increase to a different selection depending on your requirements.
This is scaling up, as I mentioned. Sorry to interrupt.
Yeah. So let's get started with the warehouse service. Let me see where I have the link ready. Yeah. So first, in order to upload the data, first we need to have our table DDL present in our database itself. So we can either create the database using this service on the UI, or we can go to our worksheet. Let's say we can name our worksheet to the specific session that we are doing, city bike. Right, so this is the data that we will be working on today. So let's create the database, create or replace database city bike. If you refresh your screen, you can notice a new database has been created. There's a public schema, as I mentioned, and there's information schema. We will be creating we will not be creating a new schema. We will be using the public schema for this purpose. And let's create a table over here, just a blank table to upload our data to. As you see here, this is already specified. We are using the city bike database and the public schema. If you want to change it to a different database or different schema, you can either use it by a UI or you can directly do citybike dot public dot trips. Either way, it should be good. So let's create the table for it. We have the trips table created right now, but there is no data present in it. So for this, we will be creating a staging area. For the staging area, we need to have it on our databases. Staging areas are database objects that we can use to load data and unload data. Our databases. Select our city bike database, and we have the schemas over here, public schema, and we have the stages over here. This is the UI approach that you can use, or you can always use a worksheet and do it from there. Let's create a schema, the staging area. We'll be using the Amazon S3, so we'll be selecting that. Since this is the open data source, we don't need to provide any access credentials to it, and the staging name will be city bike trips. And the URL for this. So we have our staging area created over here. Now we can see all the files that are present in this staging area. So we can either choose a specific file to be uploaded, or we can choose the files that we need. Worksheets, my city pack rights. As you can see, these are all the files that are present in this specific staging area for us to upload. Let's upload this. Each file will be having a different kind of format, or all the files will be having a same file or format. In the future, we can get our data from a different source that has been following a different format, either pipe delimiter, space delimiter, or quotes, whatever it is, to configure data. So for this purpose, we need to have a file format section created in Snowflake, which we can use either to load the data from a file or to unload the data to a file in a specific format. As you can see, I have the script ready to create this file format, to load a CSV file that's been delimited by /n and a new line, a field delimited by a comma, and we can create this file format over here. File format CSV successfully created. You can check with this when you, as a visually, when you go to data, databases, city bike, schemas, public, the stage that we created, the city by, and the file format CSV that we just created. Since we have the file format ready, we can load the data over here. Loading the data.
So it's an external staging, right?
Yeah, this is the external staging area that we are using, that using AWS. There is an internal staging as well as that Snowflake provides. We can upload the data over there through multiple connectors. These internal stages are again configured into multiple other details. Table stages, user stages that only a specific user can access those stages. Table stages where everyone using that specific table has the permissions to the table can access that staging area. We are going to use a copy into function to load the data. So we are copying the data into our trips table from the city bike trip staging area using the file format CSV that we just created of all the files that has a pattern of CSV. We haven't selected a warehouse for this section, so it has to, so let's select the warehouse file. We will select an extra small warehouse and see how fast we can load our files. It's a lot, huge data, so hang in there, guys.
And plus we're using an extra small.
Yep. I will show once it's loaded, I will note down the time and I will truncate the data, and I can show you how it performs with a bigger warehouse. It's done. So using an extra small warehouse, it took us 50 seconds for the performance. Now let's delete all the records in the table and reload it again with a larger warehouse. Admin warehouses, new warehouse, Egen demo, extra large. Let's change the warehouse from extra small to our extra large warehouse. Run the same command again. That's it. We are done. We are done in 7.1 seconds. As you can see, this is the advantage we have using scaling up our warehouse and taking advantage of the services provided by Snowflake. And once we are done with this,
okay, can we just navigate to data marketplace just to show?
Yeah.
And if you can just open one of them. You can open this the economy data atlas. Go and yeah. So it's so easy to use. You can see we just plugged into the data marketplace, and we have all this data set. They have already. Akhil, can you expand this?
Yeah, we can see all the tables that are present in that specific database. I can show you a quick data.
We have good amount of like financial data sets available that we can use for our use cases. So yeah, that's a good cool feature that Snowflake supports. Yep. See.
You can have multiple information. There are multiple industry related data that you can use from marketplace. So if you wanna get familiar with this Snowflake, I would suggest to enroll for the 30-day free trial period, or get some data from marketplace or any data that you have, upload it to Snowflake, play around changing file formats, sections, and everything. One cool feature that I like about Snowflake is when you want to configure the file formats, city bike, schemas, public, file format, you can do it visually as well. Create a file format.
Even databases, file formats, warehouses, everything, you can just go through the
UI service and you can just use it from there.
Very easy to use.
This UI that you are seeing, this is a new UI that Snowflake has provided, the Snow site. If you wanna go use a previous, maybe if you're looking for some YouTube videos on Snowflake, any other services, they might be using a previous version of the UI. That's the classic console. You can utilize that as well.
Okay, can we open that? Can you open that just to give?
The classic console?
Yeah, just to give the like look, so that if someone is new and opening Snowflake doesn't get surprised to see this.
Yeah, should be here, right? A classic console.
It should give you on left bottom. Do you have?
I'm not sure if I have the access to the classic console through the free trial period. Yeah.
It's just a classic console. Like the UI is different. So yeah, this is the new one that we have.
Let's run a basic query on the data that we just uploaded into our city bike trips, so you can visually see the data that we have. You do have a visualization chart purposes where you can see the data, or you can see the actual data using the results option, and at the right side you can see all the details of individual columns present here. And I wanna go deep into the details, but since this is an introductory course, I would hang out for the next session to get much more deep into semi-structured data, how we can load it into Snowflake and how we can work on it.